Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy P Fong, thinking right out here in the lab, in the book, where I do what I do for you. We return into Isis, the mysteries of Isis, the path of wisdom to immortality and enlightenment. Let's go. Writism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune into receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers' way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to attain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're right thinkers, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get there together, and I'm going to ask the question. Do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. Excuse me. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to Mayat be true. I wrapped up, we talked about the sage king Akhenaten with the single god Atum. So I'm going to finish wrapped up. I'm calling this the right thinkers, understanding the oneness of God. I'm going to take you through a few different concepts. So let's see. It would be correct to note that the Jews who entered Egypt at various times throughout its history were strongly influenced by the theology of Egypt. However, they did not carry on the idea of universality with Akhenaten sort of fostered. He viewed Atum as the supreme deity, which which was revered everywhere under different names, which is fine. Again, we got it. The Jews' idea that the Jewish God is the only true God who belongs to them alone. Excuse me. The concept is the factor of the Zoroastrian influence coupled with the Occidental tendencies of some of the Jews to concretize images and exclude and segregate themselves from other belief systems. Nevertheless, the instructions which the early Jews, claimed to receive in Egypt in reference to the oneness of the divinity which they transferred, to a personality which they call Yahweh. And you cannot overlook, however, the teachings of the mystical Judaism, the Kabbalah, exhibit important correspondence to the Shita-Ner, the ancient Egyptian religion philosophy. Just saying. And in the Western religion, they claim monotheism. Okay, Akhenaten tried that a long time ago. Understand, we just got to finish breaking that down for you. But Western civilization, monotheism implies that there is one God who exists, in fact, with a distinct personality, much like a human being. We didn't humanize God. The Jews did today way of life, watch this, and who is watching over his creation like a father. Good concept, okay? God is conceptualized as a male figure who is separate, right there. I underline that. I got a problem with all religions who separate God from his creation, and manage it where? From afar. Really? Don't subscribe to that concept. Just want to let you know. But in the mystical sciences, monotheism implies that God is the only being that truly exists. So whatever you call him, don't make a difference. There's only one. I keep saying that point, making that point to everybody. And therefore, all that exists is an expression of the divine. God expresses as nature, the universe, the stars, human bodies, okay, human beings, your thoughts, your senses, all physical objects, all good and evil people, etc. God has dominion over all, and he's in all. That was the concept from the Egyptians. Y'all separate God from his creation, I ain't following you. And God is, again, everything. Just as everything in your dreams, your world, in your mind, is in reality an expression of what? Your own consciousness. Every individual has one. It's called the brain. God is not separate from his creation. Understand that? Let me say it again. God is not separate from his creation. But in immanent in sensations, every feeling, thus that which transcends the phenomenal world of time and space is full and phenomenal world, which is an expression of the eternal, is also full at every moment. You are embraced by the glory of God. Life is given to you because of him at every moment. My pastor just did the line last night. Told me, you stole one of my lines, Pastor. I call it God consciousness. I mean, I walk, talk, eat, sleep, drink God. Everything I do, I got God on my mind. He watches over me. That's my concept. That's my philosophy. Last night, he said the same thing from a biblical concept, and I don't have a problem with that at all, okay? And he's with you at all times, at every moment, regardless of what your life circumstances, what you think, believe, or feel, that don't change the fact that he's still with you. And you are full. Becoming conscious of that fact will make you have knowledge of self. That's where you reach the level where you don't need nothing in this physical world. Even if you were to become blind, my mother-in-law is blind. I talked to her yesterday. She said something profound. She lost her sight through the cataracts. She never complained. Still won't. Or to lose an arm or leg, what? You will still remain full. Just as the injuries of your dream personality do not affect you as you lay in bed. Whatever you think in your mind don't happen to you physically. So too, your transcendental self, which is the spirit, is unaffected by any condition that is experienced by your physical body. God is with you, aka your ego personality. When I was ripping and running and doing my thing, I didn't consider God at all. When they took everything away, when I got nothing else but that jail cell, the first thing I went to call it, oh God, now you want me. So been there, done that too. So I said, don't wait till you get that point to go find God for yourself. That's not a good look. But he always do what he do. Trust me. But in the book of hidden properties of matter, we saw how the supreme divinity is described, and we use the ocean as an example of all-encompassing existence. 75% of the earth is water, so we use the ocean concept. But in this ocean, there is no male nor female, and no duality of any kind. That's the noon. That's where everything is just one, with potential to be whatever. Okay. However, it's always a however, when that ocean experiences itself by its own will, it takes on different forms according to that will of its mind. These forms are in reality polarizations of the same essence, that ocean. It is like water turning into ice. It's still water. It's just frozen, another state. See the concept? And it is the same essence, only at a different temperature or a different vibrational rate. But in the same way, your physical matter, regardless of its form, color, texture, etc., is nothing but the same essence. Pay attention. And this essence remains indisputable to modern science to this day. Okay, dark matter, whatever they want to call it, they don't know. But this principle has a hidden and non-dual essence, meaning there's only one of the Supreme Self was described, thousands of years ago from our ancient Egyptians. Okay, so this ain't nothing new, God. No man has been able to seek out God's likeness, though God can be seen in form, universe, nature, us. Observation of God can be made at what? At God's appearance. If you, yourself, personally, I can tell you how to get to God right quick. If you do right, live right, perform good stuff, something will happen for you. Just for you, for doing just that. Did you know that? If we taught our young that concept of doing right and being rewarded for doing right action, there'd be a lot less criminals. Trust me. And God cannot be understood. In God's time, not ours. Remember that? Okay? And that's what they're telling you. And God cannot be seen. You ready? With mortal eyes. These eyes won't see God. But that third eye you open up will. That's my job to get you to do just that. That's my point. And that's philosophically the way it's done. Now, I got a little more to go. This statement signifies that what? That no one who looks for God, watch this, with the understanding of their ego concept will be able to see God. What they will see is the world of time and space, which is the illusion, and deities created out of their imagination. Why? Because they are looking through, you ready? Impure intellect, aka ignorance. And let's do this. Impure intellect of the mind and the senses, meaning they don't know. But in order to truly understand God, this is the part I'm like right here. One must transcend, meaning what? The human ego. Conquer that egoistic personality and thus become what? Like God. There we go. It is only then that the correct understanding of God will dawn on you. Knowing thyself don't happen by accident. In order to fully comprehend the nature of the divine, the principles of duality and non-duality must be fully explained. And I'm going to try to do that right now, wrapping it up. Dualism is the belief that all things in nature are self-sustaining, meaning this and that, opposites. We inhale the oxygen that the plants give off. We exhale what the plants need to take in. That's osmosis. And it's it's separate from any underlying essence. And what they're saying is, this is like saying that a light bulb lights up under its own power. See, right there. But that it is separate from any source of power. Yeah, if it ain't connected. And without recognizing that the true source of the illumination is the electricity, which is the flowing through the bulb, that's dualism, is the belief in the pairs of opposite. Again, that's what Maya represents, wherein everything has what? A polar counterpart, opposite. If it's male, opposite female. If it's good, opposite is bad. Got it? And for example, I just used it. Male, female, here, there, hot, cold. Get it? Opposites. Now, while these elements seem real to the human mind, mystical philosophers throughout history have been claiming, watch this, that this is only an outer expression of the underlying essence from which it originates. And in reality, this underlying essence is non-dual, singular, one. That's God. Everything comes from the one. We knew that. It's always been understood. And it's considered all-encompassing. It is the substratum of all that exists. Modern science now has been confirming this view. If I'm using the ancient concepts, and have been for the last 30 years, and I'm just as fluid and conscious as what's going on as anybody, and I ain't studied nothing new, science is finding out that what I got was legit. Okay, so understand that. And they've been confirming that this view of matter through the latest that experiments in what? Quantum physics. They put it to the test, saying that what? All matter is composed of energy. That's what we're composed of. That's what the spirit is. With consciousness, there you go. Now, most importantly for this study, dualism is a state of mind, or mental, that occurs at in what? In an immature level of mental understanding of reality. You're ignorant to the reality of what's really going on, so you had to be taught, you had to be informed, you had to learn. Through the study, there you go, and daily practice of right thinking philosophy, this mystical spiritual teachings, dualism, that's what Mayat represents, is replaced with what? Non-dualism. That's God and salvation. You becoming one with your higher self. And the mystical understanding, and just that. Then when this occurs, therefore salvation, or what they call resurrection, rebirth, born again, whatever, it's the spiritual enlightenment. It's you becoming conscious of who you are, and it relates to what? Non-dualistic view of existence, and bondage and death are related to what? Dualism and egoism. When you realize you are one with the one, you don't have that concept no more. We're human. We believe and we think and act in what? Duality. Opposites. That's what we know. That's how the brain is trained. But dualism in the human mind can lead to what? Catastrophic events in human experience. Why? Because the mind is trained to see either good or bad. That's it. Accept or accept. That's how the mind is trained. You or me. I'm just talking about the opposites. That's Mayat. That's what the human mind is trained to do. We got two hemispheres. And not the whole of creation, which is composed of what? Many parts. The attitudes of separation and exclusivism are exaggerated by the egoistic people who think and believe that. Okay? When societal institutions such as the church, when they rationalize and even sanction dualism, then you got egoistic sentiments hold sway over the heart of human beings. They're confused. They're being led astray, and it ain't comfortable to their heart. Some people say, I was in church, I was in religion, but it just didn't get to me. Okay, I mean, your discernment was up. And watch this. Now, in this sense, dualism and egoism, they go hand in hand. See, you edge God out. Dualism, believe this or that. With God, it's just one. When your universal love and consciousness and for love for humanity are replaced by egoism, what happens? Then it becomes possible to hurt others and to do hurt to nature, okay? Not care about nature. And when people forget their charming origin and destiny, they easily fall into the vast pit of egoism, self-gratification, self-identification, fame and fortune, materialism, and seeing themselves as what? An individual. I gotta get mine. I gotta do me. I gotta get mine. Okay, that's ego. And that's what the world's involved in today, of individuals fighting a battle of what? Survival for the same frailties and potential. Money, fortune, and fame. If that's what you're living for, have at it. I'm not in that fight. Moving on. That's why I wear this title. This degraded condition of thinking is wrong thinking, not right thinking. This degraded condition opens what? The door to a deep-rooted fear of what? And inadequacy of the human heart, which translate into what? Atrocities of our history. And is beset with what? Ignorance, ignorant people who seek to control others and even nature. Sound familiar? And to only satisfy their inner urges through any means necessary, violence if necessary. Why? Because they cannot control themselves and express their deeper needs in what? A constructive way. In Indian Vedanta tradition, duality or Dvaita is seen as the greatest error in the human mind. Why? For this reason, all the disciplines of Vedanta yoga and ancient Egyptian mystery system, far as Buddha, Taoism, and creation-centered spirituality, are directed toward developing a correct right thinking and right understanding of human existence, aka know oneself or know thyself. I'm done. I'm almost home. I'm about done right now. And when the underlying unity behind the duality is finally discovered, that's the awakening, there can be no violence or ill will. There's harmony, and enlightenment will arise when spontaneously. Egoism now gives way to universal love and peace. Your whole body's at peace with one. The lower nature have given way to the higher nature, and it awaits what the higher nature wants it to do. That's mastery. Self-mastery at its best. I got another page of information, but I got to come back and do the next lesson, but it's good stuff. Why? I'm going for it. Nope. Let me wrap this up. I got to do this. The legacy of non-dualism in ancient Egypt and its influence on the modern religion can be felt even to this day. That's why they want to let it get away. The long history of non-duality in ancient Egyptian religion may be seen reflected in what they call the Coptic Church of modern-day Egypt. The Coptic Church is the major Christian church in modern-day Egypt today. The name Copt is derived from the Greek word from Christianity and can be found in the Gnostic, remember them? Mystery schools which developed in the Hermetic, remember him? That's the Greek's name for Tahuti. The Hermetic teachings and the teachings of the Egyptian god Tahuti, ding, 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 my man. And in the period immediately preceding the Christian era, these schools were engendered by early Greek philosophers, watch this, who studied Egyptian philosophy, and even Alexander, the so-called numbnuts, who conquered Egypt and sort of established a city of what he called enlightenment. I ain't going there. Which would bridge the East and the West. Alexander knew from his early instructions by Aristotle, who was a student of Egypt and was the source of the most ancient knowledge and the repository of the world's greatest scholars and the mystical philosophers in the library in Alexandria, in which your boy came and burnt up everything that he didn't want and kept the rest. The Greeks, watch this, under Alexander, sought to appropriate and adopt the ancient Egyptian traditions, you hear that? Which they had been learning for what? You ready? 5 centuries. That means 5,000 years of this information since the time of Thales, okay, a Greek philosopher, and he was the first recognized Greek philosopher circle, you know when? 700 BCE. We was doing this a long time before they come along, and they came to get what we was doing. And in order to carry on the mystical tradition of Egypt, along with the highest technological advances, these Gnostic Hellenists intermixed with what? The Jews living in Alexandria in the northwest, Lower Egypt, in the next 3 centuries, okay, 3,000 years, notable Christian philosophers would emerge out of Alexandria, who would exert a strong influence on what? Early Christianity, and later cause what they call the separation of the Egyptian Christians from the Roman and the Byzantine Christians. Did you know that, Christians? These included Clement of Alexander, the Origen, Arius, ancient Egyptians who adopted Greek ideas, style of culture, and wrapping it up, the debate in church over the true understanding of Christ, watch this, Christology led to the separation between the church in Egypt, Coptic church, and the churches of what? The Roman and the Constantinople, Western Roman Empire, and the Eastern Roman Empire, respectively. The majority of Egyptian Christians refused to go along with the decrees of the Council of Chalcedonian in 451 ACE. They defined the person of Jesus. They defined the person of Jesus the Christ as being, watch this, one in two natures. This doctrine of two natures seemed to imply that the existence of the two Christs, one being divine and the other being human. You ever heard anything like that? The Egyptian Christians who refused, again, the Council of Chaldean, faced charges of what? Monotheism. Monotheism is what? Is the belief that Christ has only one nature rather than two. Okay, they didn't go with the two deal. And it's notable that the Council of Chaldean, the dualist view was accepted both in Constantinople and in Rome, but not in Egypt. So we didn't go with that. Thus, we see that the dualistic view of Christ was developed and promoted in Europe under the Roman Church, in the Middle East under the Church of Constantinople, the Byzantine Empire. And it was Copts in Egypt who sought to uphold the non-dualistic view of Christ, which viewed him as all-encompassing, being with was absolute divine, while at the same time expressing in human form. That's us, period. Spiritual beings having human experience. And this, watch this. This was due to the tradition of non-dualism, which the Egyptians of the early Christian era assimilated from the ancient Egyptian mystery schools. Again, we taught single. The Coptic Church of Egypt separated from the Roman Constantinople and set up its own pope, who is to this day nominated by an electoral college of clergy and loyalty. The Coptic Church has survived up to this present in Egypt. There are even 7 million Coptic Christians there today and 22 million in total throughout the world. And it's apparent here that a place of non-duality in context of the world philosophers, religions, they will help you better understand the teachings and how to be expressed in modern time. I can break down everybody's concepts of God with the next lesson. Right now, I'm going to stop. I got to go. And in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100, me 100 minus a day. So I never know that my right thinkers will pass away. I'll be right back.